Good morning, and thank you so much once again for joining me with Storytime with Joyce. Last week we were reading from my book Betty, and it was chapter 18, Who's That Knocking on My Door? And what we read the first part of the chapter. What we read was that Carol had been sent home from school because she wasn't feeling well, and the school was very concerned because there was an outbreak of polio, so they sent her home. When she got home, she heard noises in her mom and dad's bedroom, and when she opened the door, she found her dad, Arvin, and Lori in bed, in her mom's and dad's bed, and that just really upset her, of course, as it should. And she slept the rest of the afternoon until her sister and mom came home, woke her up, and she told Ruth what she had seen. In the meantime, Arvin, her dad, had gone back to Lori's house, and they were discussing how foolish it had been for Lori to come to the apartment. So let's go ahead and see what's going to happen now because Arvin's on his way home. Okay? When Arvin got home, the girls were in their room, and Betty was sitting at the kitchen table sipping a cup of tea. Betty looked up and said, "Arvin, come in and have something to eat." "I eat with a couple of buddies on my way home from work," Arvin replied. "Well then, come and have a piece of pie. Made it fresh this morning." "Sounds good, Betty. You sure can cook." They sat in silence until he finished his tea and pie. Arvin said he was tired and was going to bed early. Betty got that feeling again of being left out. She poured herself another cup of tea, went into the parlor, sat on their sofa, and looked out the window at all the city lights. She got lost in them. How beautiful, she thought. Just like diamonds. This is Arvin's city dreams. She wondered what her dreams were. She had never taken the time to really think about that. In fact, she wasn't sure she knew how. She decided to go to bed before her feelings took her to a place that was uncomfortable. The next morning, Betty was feeling a little better, but still felt a little left out of Arvin's life. She set the table and called the girls. "Girls, breakfast is on the table. Come eat, then get ready for church." "Yes, Mama," the girls replied in unison. "Mama, where's Pa?" Ruth asked as she sat down to the table. "He's downstairs in the basement getting rid of the last of the brewing equipment. Prohibition ended last year, but we just didn't get around to cleaning out all that stuff. Your Pa will be right up for breakfast," Betty replied. "Mama, we want to talk with you later today, alone," Carol said. "What is it, girls?" Betty asked. Before either one could answer, Arvin came up from the basement. "All the equipment is now gone. No more bootlegging. Now let's have some of that good smelling grub," he said. "Yes, let's all eat. Afterwards, off to church we go." On the way home, Ruth and Carol listened to their mom talking to their Pa. "It's so nice to have us all together. No more working 6 days a week. No more home brewing. And Arvin, I really like your short hour schedule. It's nice to have you home, although lately I haven't seen much of you. Out with your men friends, cooking up some more of your city dreams?" Betty asked. "Nah, just hanging out with them. Get a few beers, you know," Arvin answered. "Arvin, would you take me to the movies tonight? I have to take care of some business tonight. Maybe the girls would like to go with you." "What kind of business?" "Now, Betty, you know I take care of the man's business in our family, and this is man's business." "Seems to me you got a whole lot of man's business to take care of lately," Betty quickly responded with a slightly sarcastic tone. "Yeah, I do," Arvin responded in the same tone. "At least we all got to go to church as a family this morning," Betty said with a softer tone. As soon as they got home, Arvin said, "Betty, gotta go. See you later." That afternoon, Betty and the girls caught up with their sewing. While sewing, they chit-chatted about the weather, school, the 3 boys Betty was taking care of, and about Ruth's new boyfriend. Time flew by, for it had gotten dark already. Neither girl even noticed that Betty got up and warmed up the pot roast they had the night before. Ruth and Carol were still sewing when they heard their mom say, "Girls, set the table, please. Sorry we are eating so late. I just got caught up in our sewing and our conversation. It's nice when we're all together. That doesn't happen very much anymore. Me working, you both going to school, and now, Ruth, you have a new boyfriend." "Mama, can we talk with you now?" Carol and Ruth said, almost in unison once again. "Yes, girls, let's clean up the dishes and talk over some tea and dessert. I got some real nice pastries." The girls agreed and cleaned up while Betty made the tea and put out the pastries. Mama, Carol has something to tell you, Ruth said as they all sat down at the table. What is it, girl? Betty asked. Carol told her mom how she got sick at school and was sent home immediately. Then she went on to tell her mom how she went into the kitchen to get a glass of milk and heard a noise in their bedroom. When she got to the part of opening the door and what she heard and saw, she busted out into tears. So did her mom. Ruth just sat in silence, unable to emote. Carol, I am so sorry you saw your pa that way. That must have been very hard for you to tell me. Now, don't worry about this. It ain't nothing. Your pa and I will talk tomorrow. Right now, I feel like I want to go to that movie. I guess I want to be alone, Betty said as she was wiping away her tears. Mama, are you sure? What movie house are you going to? Ruth asked. Yeah, I'm sure. The other day when I was walking with the boys to the zoo, I saw a movie playing at the Biograph Theater on Lincoln Avenue, Betty said. Mama, that's a long walk, Ruth responded. I know, but I need to think, and besides, I'll be able to sit and rest when I get there. Now, don't worry, get yourselves cleaned up and ready for school tomorrow. I'll be home late, Betty replied. Our next chapter will be chapter 19, and the title is Bang Bang. So that's it for today. Thanks again for sitting with me and listening to the story. I'm reading from Betty, my book, Betty. The second book, Ruth, came out, which is about her oldest daughter. And Carol was just released a month ago, which is the youngest daughter. You can buy all three on Amazon.com. All three are written by Joyce Bennett-Hall, or you could go to my website, joycebennetthall.com. Thanks again. See you next week. Have a fabulous week. Bye.